Leagueheads, and welcome to the League, exploring League of Legends lore from A to Z. My name is Rebecca.
And I'm John.
My name is Mark.
Today we're talking about the visionary, Hwei, who was just released, December 5th, 2023. Look at us, same month and everything. We're recording it. I think it comes out after December, but...
We're so fucking good at this.
Mm-hmm.
No way.
That was such a,
Damn it, dude.
like such an easy one. You know, that was the low-hanging fruit, and I know that you can do better than that.
Don't worry, I plan on it.
He's got a little checklist, and he's just marking them off as he does them.
Easy one first. Done.
Yeah, get people's expectations nice and low so I can blow them out of the water.
They clicked on our podcast, so I imagine their expectations are already nice and low. Ouch, mean.
The winter blues hitting already. Shit.
Yeah, we're back from Christmas break. Hope everyone had an enjoyable one. We're not like a chatty beforehand podcast because we chat outside of the podcast so much that it's like literally we were all just playing League last night for hours. So I don't know. This isn't a long one, so I thought maybe we could have some banter beforehand. No, we don't got anything. So what does Hwei sound like?
If it makes you feel better, I forgot what everyone got for Christmas. If there was like one really good gift that y'all wanted.
I don't think we ever answered that question, dude. I remember last night you asked.
I asked, and then I said, well, I got jeans, and that just like we
that
spun
right,
off
and then
into
we started talking about
refs.
Sunny, yeah, which we do off the podcast as well.
It's not fake. It's not an act. It's
No. This is who we are.
I got a lot of stream stuff to up the quality of my stream setup.
We haven't put it up yet, but
we haven't put it up yet, so it will not be reflected in.
Do you want to show the poster?
Oh yeah,
the real good one.
Here, let me.
This is a good
show the bad
podcast
one.
content,
Show the
right?
not good poster. Yeah.
Well, he's got two.
Stop by the YouTube.
That's true. There is a video of this on YouTube.
Yeah, Spotify listeners, John is rummaging through a pile right now. I'm seeing a cardboard box that was moved earlier, which I guess you won't see because it's going to be cropped out.
To focus on this correctly. Oh, good.
Oh shit! I like the glare.
Good too. That's the first one.
That's pretty
That's
good.
Kaisa. The skin, I don't remember it.
Ink.
And then obviously had to
Very
frame
nice.
Swamp Master
Cannon.
Swamp Master.
which is the skin
I like that
John
it's got
always uses.
The little ability icons up above.
Yeah, and there's like a
That's
little
neat
bit
detail.
of lore on the bottom. It was someone I found on Etsy. I'm sorry, I don't remember their name.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
All right, I'm back.
I did painfully debate for a really long time which two champions and which skins I should print out.
I think you couldn't have done better.
Oh, thank you. We did also debate getting you one, Mark, and doing Rusty Blitzcrank because we thought that would be just most troll
So wait, you
shit.
tell me I
I'm
don't
so
get
sorry
that?
you don't. Do you want Rusty Blitzcrank? Son of a
No,
bitch.
it's fine. I've got my new jeans that I'm wearing, and that will solve any problem.
Anyway.
Anyway.
So this is what Hwei sounds like.
Sorry, I just got a pop-up like weather alerts in my area. Just popped up all over my fucking like Audacity waveform, so I just had to close it out. Sorry.
I thought this was going to end in a Hwei joke.
Nope. Just explaining why I'm not reacting to what y'all are saying because I'm busy trying to figure out what the fuck my computer is doing.
Apparently
Excuse
his
me.
just did the same thing that
Right?
yours
Mine
did.
did that like right before we started recording. It was weird as hell.
Yeah, I don't know. Windows, Fucking Bill Gates. I'm so sorry. This podcast in no way doesn't like Bill Gates. He has a lot of power. I feel like we shouldn't.
If you listen to this podcast, it will break your OS. Your whole system will just be completely...
I feel like he's got computers that scourge the internet for his name.
Like the Matrix, like the little squid robots.
Just gonna be woken up in the middle of the night and dragged out of bed. Beaten.
Forced to use Microsoft Edge. What did I say?
You know what?
Fuck. Anyway.
Yeah,
Oh, we did that one already. Fuck.
So nice, we use it twice.
This is
what does he sound like?
what Hwei says to Vex. Misery loves company, doesn't it, little one?
Mm-hmm.
That's good.
He's like a soft-spoken
Very
dude.
nice.
I don't know.
He
Yeah,
sounds
kind of a
about
sad
to
guy.
cry.
A little
Yeah.
about
Yeah.
to cry
His voice
all the
lines.
time. Yeah, which is a mood.
Yeah. The only one that I've heard him say a lot in game is one of his old lines, "Feel as I feel." It's sort of how he sounds to me.
Like an anime character, yeah.
People aren't what they say, but what they show.
That was really good.
John just watches like 3 Pixar movies in a row and he can't keep it together.
You see their feelings.
Yo, don't get Inside Out will get me. Anyway, Hwei has a bio and a short story on his universe page. Weirdly, we didn't think we were getting any more, and then here it is.
You know what? Good. I'm sure they were at Riot. We're like, okay, I know we said that we're not going to do short stories all the time, but we do have to do one this time. Otherwise, everyone's going to, like, no one's going to trust us for anything ever again. You know what I mean?
I guess.
Yeah.
I guess. Frankly, with him, his whole like artist shtick and thematic, I feel like he probably could have gotten away with something else. I don't know. I like the short story, not that it's bad or anything, but I would have loved to have seen them really take a real creative bent on him and try and do like, here is the mural that is Hwei's lore.
That would have been very
right or something.
Like, especially because he's so tied to Jin, and Jin had such a good release with like them editing the champion pages having been, shot by Jin. Like, that was such a cool way to like tease his release. I would have liked something like that. That would have been pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. I don't want to complain. We shouldn't look a gift story in the mouth or anything, but it's like, because when you read it, they've got little art, like images, like inserts in it, and I was like, the arts I really like, and I would love to see like this be the front and center almost. So,
as for his bio, though,
Issa Marie de Leon.
Oh, I don't think I've seen that name before.
Yeah, I think it's a first.
Yeah, it's a new one.
Alrighty, well, Hwei was a normal artsy boy in Ionia. He was from the island of Koyen, I think. I'm not entirely sure how to say it. It did make me laugh because we're talking all the time about how when they have a champ and they're not sure where to put them, they're like, here's an island. I don't know. Like, this one's in Ionia, but it's still like this island that we've never heard of or seen before.
It's on the island. I don't know, a monastery.
Yeah, there's a temple.
Temple or something, yeah.
And then a village and, some people there. But anyway, Hwei lived in a temple that he was to inherit. Is just how they put it. We don't know about his parents or anything like that.
We know nothing about how he came to inherit this temple.
No, why is he getting this temple? I don't know. They just picked his name out of a hat. I'm not sure what it is.
It shows that he was born with that lightning scar. And
no, like a paintbrush in his hand or something. Anyway, Hwei liked to paint and had a vivid imagination. So vivid that his eyes change colors based on his mood. He has mood rings for eyes, basically. Do you think he should? I think that he should go around and like hand people a card that says like the color matches the mood. Like when you got mood rings back in the day. Well, you guys are boys. You didn't get mood rings. Those were dope.
Rings? How dare you?
I'm sorry. You're right. You had 7 sisters. You probably stole their mood rings all the time.
I stole their mood rings, and I loved my girl. So we know all about mood rings. Also, in case you're interested, I do have a translation chart for those colors.
Nice.
Provided by the writer.
I imagine it's going to be the stuff that's like in his abilities and even in the short story, right? Like the red and blue and purple and gold, right?
Yeah. Those are the main colors, but they each have a range of emotions that they stand for.
Oh.
Well, people are complex.
Right?
Yeah, I guess so. Hwei and other people on this island use magic to paint that can like influence the emotions of the audience. So like Sona, but with paint is kind of what it sounded like. It was important to control this power, so anyone who couldn't or didn't would be banished. Hwei fucked that all up one day. He was painting the sea for the temple's masters and got carried away and imagined them drowning. That made him pass out, and when he woke up, thankfully he hadn't killed everyone, but they were pretty peeved at him. Hwei's a Nepo baby, though, so they let him stay at the temple. They weren't going to kick him out.
It's like his dad owns the dealership or
I don't know what
something, right?
it is. They're like, well, we can't kick him out. He's to inherit this temple for some reason.
It's in the bylaws. I don't know.
Why did we sign these into law?
So from then on, during the day, Hwei was a good little boy, but at night he would do his big imagination paintings. I don't know, something that seems like it's really hard to convey into words. Kind of like the Talia performance a little bit when you're like trying to read it and you're like, how are they performing weaving, for their people? Yeah, I found the paintings.
Or like Seraphine.
Yes, exactly. Anyway, Hwei grew up and was pretty good at controlling all of this, though it kind of implies his nighttime painting is like the little darkness in him, his little dark deeds at night.
He like paints himself having a smoke.
Right.
What is he painting? I don't understand. Is he imagining more people dying? Maybe.
Maybe.
Because then one day Jin visits. Hwei spent a summer with Jin, and on his last night there, Jin told Hwei he could tell that the painter was holding back all the time. So Hwei put on a super secret dark performance for Jin's eyes only. Jin definitely had to hide how impressed he was, and he told Hwei bye-bye. Why did I write it like that?
I don't know, but I'm glad you did.
Bye-bye. Just because we have a toddler.
Toodles.
Do you ever say without even the kid there, I'll say bye-bye to people? And it's so bad because you're used to having your kid be like, say bye-bye, bye-bye. And no, I'm just like, bye-bye at people.
The other day, Sarah handed me something, and I was like, oh, thank you.
Oh.
I was speaking to a little baby. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah. You're welcome, Mark. Jesus. Anyway, the next morning, Jin was gone. 4 historic paintings were ruined, and 4 masters of the temple were dead and artfully arranged. And the temple's lowest floors were on fire. Hwei saw the art in all this, though, and then the temple collapsed, and he was the only survivor somehow.
Well, because he's to inherit the temple.
It's true.
Yeah.
He couldn't. After mourning for a while with the other villagers who somehow are not suspicious of him, despite him being the only one, Hwei was exploring the wreckage and saw a trap under the rubble. It was one of Jin's lotus flowers. Hwei wants to know, like, why Jin did this. Like, what the fuck, man? We had a nice summer. I showed you my dark paintings. Then you killed everyone I love.
I mean, he was imagining them drowning. I don't feel like
fair.
He loved them.
Well, I mean, he killed everyone else, too. He had to like someone there. But anyway, that's kind of where he is now. No, he packed up his paintbrush and left. That's right. So that's kind of where he is now. He's hoping to find Jin. Isn't sure what he'll do when he does. And he's kind of torn between the sweet boy from the island and the dark artist who can understand Jin's weird mutilated bodies and how cool they are. That's Hwei.
Yep. Well done.
Thank you.
Way to go. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway. I don't know. Who got thoughts?
It's just dead silence.
I like Hwei. I actually like Hwei. I guess broadly speaking, overall, I like that he feels like a proper character, right? Like he's not driven by finding a MacGuffin or like a bunch of plot shit that happened. All that's going on with him is like the internal conflict that he's dealing with, and that's like awesome, great. I understand what it is that like he's grappling with. It's kind of neat. Yeah, that's all that's cool. I like it. I'm down.
And I like that
I'm down the clown.
he's looking for Jin, which he's not unique in that. There's so many people looking for Jin right now. He's the only one looking to him or looking for him, I feel like, with any ounce of like, sure, I want to know why he did what he did, but also maybe we could still be friends.
Yeah, right.
Everyone else I know died, so maybe we can hang out. I don't know. I'll say I didn't really get Hwei, which I feel like I wasn't going to, especially with the short story. I was like a few paragraphs in and I was like, this is not for me. And it's nothing personal against him at all, but this like kind of poetic type of story is just not my vibe, I guess. But, for a lot of other people it is.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Not me.
I mean, that's reasonable.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's like I said, I think this was probably one of the better opportunities to do something that's not a short story. So
yeah.
I did like the short story, but there's probably something that could have really leveraged, his overall theme of he's an ink mage, right? Like, let's really over-index on that rather than trying to describe the things. I like the descriptions, but
Yeah, I feel like to me he's only interesting in regards to Jin, and outside of that, I don't really see anything all that interesting just for me. So I think that was hard. Like if I was seeing more of his time with Jin or seeing a reunion of some kind, obviously he just came out, so that's not going to happen, but that might be interesting. But outside of everything around Jin, I was like, I don't really get it. I don't know, like you paint dark, what do you paint, like what's so dark about? I don't get it. Like, I don't get what he's doing. I think it's just not for me. I feel really bad. I was feeling kind of dumb just being like, okay, so you use paint magic, but it's like so vague in the way they're like, what does this paint magic do? It's just a performance, but what is he doing at nighttime by himself that he can't do around other people? I just didn't really understand.
Yeah, I do think we get some of it a little bit in the short story, but like the stuff he's doing in the short story, like he wasn't doing in his temple for sure. Like that's something he's only doing once he leaves. So like, I don't know.
I'm gonna be honest, I couldn't tell you what he did in the short story. Because it was all very poetic, and my brain kind of glazes over. I'm so sorry. Like it's just it's not my type of stories that I can read.
Well, we won't skip ahead to that.
No. Yeah.
But I will say I agree too in that I do like I agree this was an opportunity for something other than a story. Like I guess just compared to some of the other more recent releases, like if we look at Melio, where he had the letters home that really like honed in on his like tie to family and like how do we show that, let's have a story that's just letters home. And Briar with her fucking pages and pages of lines not even in game just to kind of see what she was going through in prison is like they're really good introductions to a character that are nice and unique. And I think Hwei could have benefited from that given how visual he is and how, like you mentioned, how vague a lot of his powers are.
I definitely
words
agree.
are not his medium. I feel bad. I don't want to be like too negative. I don't necessarily think Riot missed the mark. I think I just wasn't the target. And that's totally fine.
I think they missed an opportunity.
And I do genuinely think that I do genuinely think that there was a decision made from a perspective of hey, we've had a couple releases now where we did not have a short story. A lot of people are talking about these statements we put out. Let's make sure we have a short story out with this release. And I can understand that. But it's like, damn, he's probably one of the best ones to not have it, which I guess almost speaks to like, he's a cool concept broadly speaking, right? Painter mage and all this stuff that's going on with him. Super cool. I like the way his abilities look in game. They're really cool. But maybe it's just awkward timing for Riot. Like I said, I really found myself liking Hwei and the thrust of his character way more than I anticipated, because I don't know, I don't go in for sad boys or anything like that. I guess to me it felt like a really like a very like human idea of like you want the thing that maybe you shouldn't want, and how do you kind of grapple with that. And then there were little flourishes in the writing in the short story that I'll talk about, and even in the bio, that I kind of just like attention to detail. I felt like the writer was kind of paying attention to what they were doing. And I think, for example, the big one is that when they go through the morning where after Jin's gone, it's like, oh, they run into a number of tragedies, but they only list out 3, right? The paintings, the bodies, and the things on fire. And I kind of like, I guess, headcanon a bit is that the fourth thing, because Jin always works as fourths, is in fact Hwei himself, right? Hwei is the ultimate, the conclusion, the climax of the whole performance, right? And I kind of love that, the idea that Hwei is like this living piece of, I don't know, Jin's art almost. It's been kind of created in the world, and Hwei, and then taking that idea and saying, okay, now that's going to be a character that we're going to follow as someone trying to understand like why they've had this happen to them, and is almost kind of into it. I don't know. I was like, I kind of like it. I don't know. It tantalizes me.
My favorite part of that too is like, if he chooses light, it's almost like Jin's performance only had 3 acts.
Ooh, I like that.
That's not what he wanted for the end of that. It would be Jin's first act that did not have a 4th piece.
I think it's a real shame that
which would break him. I feel like if he ever found out that Hwei turned fully to the light, I think he would fully break.
Do you think he never wants to know? It's like Schroeder. Oh God, I can't see the name. Schrodinger's Hwei.
Just tuck it away.
All right, that was good.
Oh man. Well, he doesn't have to worry about it because it's never ever. They're never ever gonna meet. Don't worry about it, my man. It's never gonna happen.
I don't know. I think if they ever kind of catch up with the Jin and the Zed and the Shen story, I think Hwei would potentially be a part of that. But yeah, who knows if that's
he's on the wrong continent now.
Yeah, who knows?
Yeah, it's true. It's like Scooby Doo. It's like Benny, like Yakety Sax is playing, and they're all running around between different doors.
Oh, I did like that. Hwei wasn't as over the top as I was expecting, based on him visually and him looking like a sad artist boy. He wasn't like the artist Vex or anything.
Right. He could have.
Nice.
Yeah.
There's like a Naruto character who's very much this, named Sai, who definitely leans more heavily into the pale sad boy.
I think that maybe that's why I was saying, like, I was kind of surprised because I maybe that's the expectation I had.
Yeah.
So a little more complex there. I like it.
Also, we didn't mention this, but his full name is Lu Kai Hwei.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, this bio starts, the first lines are, in Northwest Ionia, and it is impossible for a story to start like that without me following it with the fucking Fresh Prince of Bel-Air theme. It's impossible.
Okay, now that's
parody
the
song.
Yeah. Right? Jin up to no good. Make like fly. It's
Oh
just
my
like
God.
it writes
All right,
itself.
which one of you two is singing it?
Who's got the chops? Who wants to get sick on the mic, right? Dipping the toe into rap.
I did have a Natalie rap written
artist
already.
I know, you wrote one for me. Here's the thing. I was like, if you do a Natalie Portman rap, like the parody of Natalie Portman, because I know the Natalie Portman rap. I know the second one, though. And you wrote a Natalie Portman rap, the first one. And I was like, I don't know this song. I know Natalie Portman's rap 2.0, which is an SNL sketch of Natalie Portman rapping. And for some reason, I have that memorized. But only the second one. I don't know the first one as well.
I only had the first one memorized.
So you do the first one, I'll do the second.
I'll be the...
Which one is the one where she tells all the kids looking up to her
That's
to
the
suck her
first
dick?
one.
First one. Okay, that's the one I know.
Yeah. Then you're singing it.
Oh, hell yeah. And then Don, you do Fresh Prince.
You know how fucking far back this was? We wrote this shit for Karma.
Karma. It was Karma. Yeah.
I forgot. Holy shit.
Yeah.
I don't remember why we picked Karma for Natalie Portman's rap.
I think I do. But... and I think it was actually tied to the line in the second one that you linked over, and then
see, I even connected it to the second one. And you're like, well, I'll do the first.
Well, because I needed to start with the first before going to the second. Otherwise, canonically, it doesn't make sense. God, there needs to be thematic consistency.
Okay, Hwei.
So, one thing I liked, they mentioned that the ink power they have is very powerful. You know, it can overpower emotions. They don't want anyone to do it who isn't capable of doing that. But they do put all of the masters in a temple alone in a room with a kid who clearly also can't control his emotions because he's a child and is also one of the most powerful ink mages ever. So maybe the fact that he did the whole drowning thing, like, not on him, more on you guys. Maybe don't put yourselves in that fucking position.
Wow, this is one of those blaming here.
Like,
I have so much victim blaming in my notes. Don't you even worry.
This hate podcast that we run. Come on, man. I think that's the thing is like the air thing, and then also a lot of like the fineries of the paint magic, and even the process by which this like art school kind of runs are really hand waved. And it's I'm kind of fine with it to a degree, but But yeah, it is weird, right? Like maybe my only assumption, right, is that like he was just a normal kid until everything changed and he almost drowned everybody or some shit, right? Like, so who knows?
So do you think that when Jin came to visit, he was already wearing a mask full time, or do you think Hwei's seen his face?
I was wondering that. Yeah. Well, I think that makes sense.
Wouldn't it be cool if like you had like a 0.01% chance in game that like one of Hwei's taunts, he would like paint Jin's face in the air.
Oh, that would be so fucking sick. God damn, I'll pay money. I don't play Hwei. I've never played him. He's very new. I'll pay money for a skin if it did that.
Right.
Right now.
Right. You don't even need to tell us it's Jin's face. You could just,
it's just a face.
You could just never confirm it. Yeah. It's fine. Could be anyone.
Damn, that is so fucking good. God damn. Can I say also, Riot was really smart with Hwei because they're like, hey, who does everyone love, especially from the lore perspective?
Yeah.
Jin. Let's do something with him.
Let's cash in, baby.
Yeah. Good. Yes, please do it more. Find things that we love and spend more time with them.
Yeah.
Fuck it.
Yeah.
Now back on the victim blame train here.
Sure.
Sure.
Not to blame Hwei, but have you heard Jin talk? Like, if you didn't sense something was up with this guy fucking immediately, that shit's on you, buddy.
Yeah, I know all those red flags are there, but sometimes those red flags are like, they're so tantalizing,
you just
right?
want to climb that red flag.
Right?
Hwei can change him. You don't get it.
He can change his ways.
Okay, that was a really good one. That's going to be the best one of the episode, I'm betting right now.
Yeah, I think that was all I had for the bio, though.
Okay. Very good. I wanted to call out in the bio, I think they described the summer that they spent together as a gilded summer. And there's a lot of little golden, gilded, etc. references, especially in the short story. So like I said, I felt like the writer, like, a little attention to detail. They were thinking things through from end to end, which I kind of like.
Yeah.
And,
do you think that gold was always one of his eye colors, or like it was a result of the summer spent with the gold demon?
Ooh.
I like that. That's way better than the second one, obviously. Yeah, and he doesn't know it even. Maybe he does, but like it seems like something he probably only sees in very specific instances, and it's not like he has a mirror up a lot of the time. Wouldn't that be nuts if he had, like, there's some story later on, he looks and he sees his eyes and he's never seen them that color before? That's nuts. I would keep a little, if you had mirror, I just thought about this. If you had moodering eyes, would you keep like a little like mirror, like a little like thing just to check like how you were presenting to people at the time? Like,
I would have
oh
to.
man, I'm looking really constipated or whatever color.
What color's that? Never mind. We know what color that is.
Well, then you would just look kind of normal. I guess no one would think like, oh, he's gonna shit his pants.
That's actually how it works in real life. Everyone with brown eyes on the verge of shitting themselves right now. Oh fuck! Yeah, that's brilliant. All right, you want to jump into? I didn't write down the name of it. It's like paintings framed in. Yeah, I thought it was Moonlight. That was close.
It was close.
By the same writer. And you can so anyway. So it's like Hwei. It's like an evening with Hwei, right? He is kind of revisiting or reliving some of these memories of different instances of him indulging in his painting. Because something at the end of the bio they kind of mention is that he's learned that the way he's going to master all of this and kind of express it all is by sharing his painting, his actual factual, like, real feeling painting with people. So it's him kind of reliving these instances of doing it. And the first instance is him, I guess, kind of torturing a guy it seemed like a weapons dealer, an arms dealer of some kind, specifically handling Kashuri weapons, which I think we've talked about before. That's where Jin got his weapons, is like Kashuri make. So it's him kind of reliving, torturing that guy, trying to get information out of him, and also seemingly doing it because this guy caused pain in the world, but he's obviously kind of working to his own ends. And then kind of going to a memory of crossing a river with like a fairy woman, and her kind of talking about how the river has been kind of choked by like aggressive weeds, because it's Ionia, bad shit happens and the land kind of reacts, and him sort of putting good into the world and the river becoming kind of healed by his painting almost. and acknowledging that, yeah, I could do that and just be a good boy the whole time. But and then he sort of remembers the last night he spent with Jin, where Jin kind of confronted him and asked him to give his performance, his actual performance, and in doing so, that's where his sort of the purple, right? Which I guess is like fear is sort of the color that's often that he associates with that. I don't know, but just kind of remembering that night with Jin, and then kind of snapping back to reality, I guess, is sort of the way it kind of concludes. I think this is like kind of his ultimate. It's the way I kind of read it. And then after he kind of snaps back, he just kind of is ready to begin his night awake, where he will dream of his next piece. So like it's mostly just him in the night. Like I said, kind of, it's almost like he's got like waking dreams or like something like that, where he paints his dreams. I don't know. It's a little weird. The literal is weird anyway.
Now, again, not to victim blame here. In this recap we get of the last night he spent with Jin, let me just recap an interaction they had. "All things must end," said Jin. He watched a candle burning. I looked to the tide. "Well, I hope you enjoyed your time here," I said. He was still as death. "What does a wave feel for the rock upon which it crashes?"
So dramatic.
Y'all really didn't think there was some shit up here?
Well, they said that they spent the whole summer like being like poetic, artsy fartsy guys with each other. So I kind of imagine that's just the way Jin is 24/7. Where it's just like you ask him a question and you get like whatever. You know what I like about that moment? I'll say is that because in the memory, Hwei is he's still keeping it under wraps, right? He's still putting forward a facade, right? So when Jin asks that question, Hwei internally is like, oh, it's full of emotion. Nature is capricious, etc. But the answer he gives is nothing. Like he's very purposefully sort of lies to Jin in the way that he lies to everyone else. I was like, again, attention to detail. It makes sense that Hwei would kind of do that, you know. And also, there's another little thing where Hwei is, or Jin is like, Hwei, I want you to paint a painting for me, whatever. And Hwei is like, no, I'm true to myself. And then he has this big internal monologue where he's like as he is now sort of reflecting on all of it, and he kind of asks himself a question of like, or presents this idea of like, I feel all this emotion when I paint, and am I lost in it? And immediately after that, Jin says, no, you're not, right? Like, so in the memory, answering Hwei's statement that he's true to himself, but also simultaneously addressing Hwei's current sort of conflict. Again, it's just nice. It just feels well crafted, a little bit, well put together. It's like, I like it.
Yeah, it was good. I think this piece, if you're going to do a written piece for Hwei, I guess like this is the perfect piece for him. Like this is precisely how I imagine Hwei's internal monologue sounds. That being said, Hwei sounds insufferable.
I was going to use the word insufferable. Exactly, John. You're right. Could you imagine listening to him and Jin all the time? It's like listening to two fucking like poetry majors at a coffee shop together, and you're like, oh my god. What does a wave feel for the rock upon which it crashes? Oh, my dear friend, it feels everything. It's nature.
He doesn't blink at that because those two assholes have been doing that shit all summer.
Could you imagine? Could you imagine? Like, John, if you turned to me and said that, I'd punch you in the face. Like, there's just no way.
On principle, you might catch it blade. Oh my god.
Now, I do think so. One of the things I found interesting here, it's interesting how like the darkness he's fighting against is his want to inflict pain on people who are inflicting pain. At least as far as we can kind of see, because I feel like there are several characters who do that in lore that are solely painted as good guys.
Yeah.
So like, Rel, Akali, even Warwick to some extent, like that's their thing. And they're like, not even what I would consider anti-heroes. They're kind of, they're painted as good guys, and that's like the dark way.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess that's what I'm liking about getting inside Hwei's head so much, honestly, is that It seems to me so much that he does that, but it's almost like an excuse. It feels in a lot of ways that he doesn't.
He's like Dexter. He's got to channel it towards something so that he doesn't feel too bad.
Very, very genuinely, honestly, right? He doesn't it's a way that it's an excuse, but he still is like when he's torturing the guy in the first scene. He is still trying to get information, and it's pretty. We can kind of assume, I think, safely that he's doing it to try and find Jin, right? Yeah, this guy did bad things, and it's a way for him to kind of cope with what he's doing, but. I'll be interested to see Hwei has to deal with a decision point where he might be able to if I told Hwei right now you could find Jin, but you gotta kick this puppy, right? Like, would he do it? Like, would he paint himself doing it? I don't know, but
I'm gonna paint me kicking a puppy, and then it'll happen. I don't know how his paintings work. I still don't really understand.
I assume so. Yeah,
maybe. The puppy will feel itself being kicked, even though it hasn't.
Sure, right. It's almost like that's worse in some way. I don't know.
I'd be so confused. It didn't happen. It didn't happen.
It didn't happen.
It's just a hypothetical. Don't look.
But
it happens in mid lane every time Hwei's up against Nefiri.
Well, those are not puppies. Those are rabid beasts. Okay, especially when Mark's playing them.
They're good. They're good dogs. Okay, let's make that clear. They're good fucking dogs.
Mark's a Nefiri player now, so he's gonna defend those good dogs.
And then another thing I like is that I had mentioned it before, but I think in both of the two scenes, the one where he's torturing that guy, and the one where he is crossing the river. In the very first lines, when he's describing sort of the scene, he'll describe it as there's a golden center to the fire that he's burning the guy in, or there is a golden a light goose. Of a sunrise or something. A golden goose, yeah. The only one where there's not is the one where Jin himself is in. So I always assume that Jin is at the core of all of this stuff, right?
Yeah.
It's nice, again. All I want is a little attention to detail, something that feels a little cohesive holistically from a writing perspective, and I'm off to the races with Hwei. You know what I mean? So.
Yeah.
On my way. On my way.
On my way. I would like to hold out my brush. Okay, going back to the bio real quick, I did think it was funny how much time they spent trying to explain his palette. Right? The crest thing of his, which is where his magic paint. It's you can just say he just does paint magic. It's fine.
Yeah, I didn't give a shit about his palette.
God, I didn't even remember that. It genuinely confused me.
It took me a long time.
My brain
to
deleted it. It was it's paint magic. So my brain translated that for me.
He's got his cool brush, and off he goes. We don't need to worry about it. We don't need to.
Right. If you're gonna hand wave away everything else, please hand wave away that too. That's the least interesting part.
Yeah.
They're it's in the splash. We gotta keep it.
Yeah, they even are they make the point of saying the crest. That's the same crest as the whatever his temple's name is. I don't remember.
It's cool, that temple.
The We're one never that doesn't exist
see it again,
anymore.
So
you knew that temple was going down the second you started that bio. How many temples are still standing in Ionia at this point? I don't even fucking know.
The one that Syndra's carrying herself around in. Yeah. Standing taller than most.
It's the only one that survived. No one else can get to it.
I do like that Hwei has an interaction with Syndra. Someone finally fucking talking to Syndra in this game.
Oh, really?
She's it's nice to just be remembered.
Yeah.
What, does he have a quote in game to her?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Kind of like Vex, just I understand you must feel much pain or whatever.
It was the one that I did. That wasn't even close.
No, the one to Syndra.
Oh, I thought you were saying that was the Vex quote.
No. But Hwei does have a cinematic called Hwei the Visionary, which is his first champion release. It's kind of a mix of in-game action and cinematic with a dramatic voiceover.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't have anything to add. But
that's it. There's not much to add on that one.
Yeah.
It's very
He's
Hwei.
using his abilities.
Now, quotes. Now, Hwei has a unique series of voice lines called dark and light through lines. They're tied together and they play at different points in the game. So your first move, ranking the ultimate for the first time, ranking the ultimate for the second time. And you have a 33% chance to kind of tip their intentions to represent Hwei's conflicted mind and the emotional journeys he could go through. They also have...
Is it random? Sorry.
I think so.
Okay.
Which way
I wondered if it was like... Yeah, I feel like you use
cool
a certain ability more.
Oh, I was gonna say, like, if you had, like, gotten kills on, like, good champions versus bad champions.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, that's also good.
But then they'd have to examine morality.
Yeah, it's
on
true.
the great champions.
I mean, that could be neutral.
33% random chance that it for everybody is, yeah.
He also has unique references to Jin throughout. So he has voice lines, but then if Jin is present when he would deliver that voice line, he delivers a variation of it specific to Jin. So he's got, and here are some Jin-specific voice lines. Something dark clings to me, has always lived in me. You brought it to light, Jin. And then the reverse of that, there is light in me. I can't lose sight of it. Not when you draw out my darkness, Jin. And this one doesn't specifically say it's for Jin, or like trigger when he's around, but it seemed pretty pointed at Jin. Art is empty without empathy.
Oh, shit.
Dog him. Bam! Jin, you opened my eyes to so much. I won't spare you from any of it.
Oh, shit.
My light grows brighter. Don't look away, Jin!
Keep looking at the light.
The darkness takes shape. Jin, face it with me. I understand. Through art, connection. Now, Jin, see me! I see destruction and despair. Our shared vision, Jin. Close your eyes, Jin. Lie by the fire you started. That's when you kill him.
So you told me to keep looking. Now you want me to close my eyes, man?
Right? What is this?
This
Mixed
is why
messages.
I left. Yeah, right.
And then if you get an assist and Jin gets the kill, Jin, that was beautiful.
I think he's like a little obsessed.
I think he is, and I love that because Jin definitely doesn't give a shit.
Yeah.
Maybe he's a little obsessed too. We don't know. Probably
Maybe
not.
he's
I don't
just
think
like,
he has the capacity for that.
yeah.
I mean, he has obsession. I think that's the only thing he has capacity for. Not
Maybe
good
it's
obsession.
like he's done with that piece, right? And he doesn't want to revisit that work.
Until he realizes it's incomplete.
That's true.
Mm. That's what I'm saying. See, this is what I'm saying. It's like Hwei, Jin, Hwei. I like them, right? I like them together.
I want to try and support. We could do a Jin Hwei bot lane.
Oh, that'd be
I've
nice.
seen oh my god, yes, please. I've seen a lot of Hwei support. I've seen a couple
I could
mid.
see him work as support. I've never played him, and he seems really intimidating. That's too many abilities for my
You got this.
small bean
You
of
play
a brain.
Lulu though, and I
That's
think
true.
it's
No,
it's pretty similar. I feel like
she's got 6, he's got 9. It's not that different.
that's 3
Yeah.
more.
yeah, but some of them you don't use ever in
Yeah.
like in lane and shit. So it's
Especially
like,
as
don't worry
support,
about
I
it.
imagine.
Especially with me, yeah. Surely forget about a lot of them. It would be the best way to learn what the fuck he does, because I still
the
don't
best
know the best
I know.
way.
Every time we play against him,
I still can't figure it out. I'm like, was that his ult? Was that just one of his abilities? I can't figure it out.
I died.
Was it Hwei? No, he wasn't even there. God, it looked like he did it.
Well, don't worry, because people piloting him also don't know what the fuck they're doing. So everybody's
it's
in the
usually
same
an
boat.
Abraham, so.
Yeah.
Now, he also has a quote that says, "My work seeks answers for the most burning questions," which also seems like a direct parallel to Jin's quote. "My work asks questions, it never has answers."
I like it.
Last quote I have here, and I have a little bit of additional context here through the fun facts, but he has a quote to Set. "Let me into your circle, Set. You have information I need."
Set does?
Yeah. So apparently, I mean, he's under the impression that Set also has connections to the criminal underground that may have smuggled Jin out of Ionia.
Oh, that makes
Get
sense.
answers.
Yeah, that makes sense. I
Yeah.
like it. Hwei in the fighting ring. Let's see it. Ding ding.
That whip sword up against a paintbrush. Let's see it.
No, everyone would bet against him, and then he'd win.
Right?
Yeah.
Now he's part of 1AU.
I don't know if I've ever seen his skin, actually. Let me look at it.
Tales of Borealis. When the air grows crisp and the first snow falls, look to the sky, for Polaris will appear. Do not be afraid, for if you've been virtuous without expectation, you might be rewarded with the aurora's blessings. But remember, no matter how you act, you cannot take your fortunes for granted, because Polaris comes every year, and no one escapes punishment. This is winter-blessed Hwei. The herald of Polaris, Hwei, waited in a despondent mood. When Senna and Hecarim found him amongst the world of men, a violent blizzard raged overhead. As herald, he used his brush to paint the aurora across the skies, bringing the first snow. At Hecarim's beckoning, he waved his brush, parting the clouds to reveal a barren sky. Where was the aurora? Now, fun fact about this skin line in general, the skin bios in the universe can be read in an order to form a serialized story.
Oh
shit.
Yeah, so for if you're interested in this, if you're the 2022 skin line, read it in the order of Diana, Swain, Zillion, Zoe, Warwick, Shaco. For 2023, which is the one that Hwei's part of, it goes Senna, Hecarim, Hwei, Annie, Camille, Silas, Thresh, Lucian. And as a general synopsis of the story, Senna is the Polaris. She's just kind of like reborn as a Polaris, doesn't know what the hell's going on. Hecarim is kind of the person who brings the Polaris into the world, and Hwei is the herald. They're trying to find the aurora. Senna goes out looking, finds Annie. Annie's bear's dead, so Senna gives Annie a teddy bear instead with the and then Camille, Silas, and Thresh are known as the Aurora thieves. They're out to steal the power from Polaris. So Silas, it's kind of implied actually that Silas may have either killed or at least stolen Hwei's power in this story. But Silas is confronting Senna and been like, I just tested this technique on Hwei, now I'm going to use it on you to steal your power, which they kind of do. And then the three of them are feeling all strong, but then they're like, oh shit, too strong, they've got too much power, they did not know how much power was in there, and so they die, except for Thresh, who barely survives. And then Lucian shows up and is like, hey, Senna's my long-lost love, Thresh. Fuck you! And blasts.
Great. Fucking ADC come to fucking kill still at the end. Awesome.
Mm-hmm. Also, poor Lucian.
Okay.
Every alternate universe, he's just like, Senna! And like shooting everyone. Poor Senna, too. Mark is frozen. He looks so jolly, though.
Yeah, that's a good...
Oh, no, you're back.
screen.
Okay.
I'm back.
He's back.
It's no big deal. I cut out as you're saying "sen" and then it just never finished.
What do you think the end of it was?
I think send
Senator!
me more interest.
Cenobite. And it's got some fun facts.
All right.
A surprising amount, actually.
Yeah, you do have like a whole page.
For a new
Oh
champion.
shit.
Mm-hmm.
Hwei is voiced by Stephen Fu.
Whoop, whoop.
One of the abilities tested on Hwei in development was a spell where he drew a rain cloud over himself that made him more depressed and granted him stealth. Kind of like an Eeyore just walking with a storm cloud over him.
I kind of like that.
Hwei is in his early 30s, which I feel like a lot of people were like, when he came out, they're like, man, he looks really fucking young, and Jin's supposed to be like late 30s. This is weird, but he's apparently early 30s.
He doesn't seem like he went out in the sun a lot, so he looks young.
Yeah, he's aged well, right?
No.
We're getting to the end of the
Hwei
episode.
and age don't rhyme at all. That wasn't...
Hwei don't fade. Do Hwei and fade
Right.
rhyme?
Yeah,
No.
sure. In some context, yeah.
Hwei has no connection with demons, which writers thought this might be a common interpretation due to his connection with the Golden Demon, so they got ahead of it and they were like, no.
There's 2 demons, I think. There's nothing about them. Stop asking about demons. We regret putting them in the game. Shut up.
No. Fuck off.
Hwei's height is 178 centimeters, or 5 feet and 10 inches, while standing, and between 173 and 175 centimeters, or 5 feet and 8 inches, while slouching.
Okay, I like that.
Yeah.
Needs to work
That's
on his
about you too, I
He
think.
does a lot of slouching.
You're also slouching. Be like, every once in a while, John will stand up to his full height, and I'm like, you're not this much taller than me. Stop it. You're like my height. Get out of
He's
here.
doing like power plays and shit. He's just trying to,
He does. He's like, intimidate
you guys,
you, bitch. He tries.
I'm still Wong.
You are strong, honey.
Let's see. His full name has a contradicting aptonym, which is a name uniquely suited for an individual like Usain Bolt, since he's a fast runner, or Doug Bowser as the CEO of Nintendo. So Lukai Hwei sounds like look away, which is the last thing that he wants you to do from his art.
Okay, I see. I follow your train of logic. It took me a moment.
Hwei's name can be combined with Jin's name in various ways to form the Mandarin words for remaining ashes after burning, golden brilliance, or to fully portray.
Oh man!
Yeah,
Someone put on their thinking cap.
Right?
The writers working on his name like hopped on Reddit and they're like, yeah, we put a lot of time into this name. Like they kind of broke down like a lot of the work they did on it, but yeah, it was pretty good.
I like it.
And the emotions associated with his eye color can be contradictory in true Hwei fashion. So these are some of the emotions his eye colors can reflect. Red is pain, anger, malicious intent, but also passion. Blue is pensiveness, sadness, reflection, but also peacefulness and sympathy.
See, you never know. This guy's looking at you and you're like, he either wants to punch me or fuck me. I'm not sure which one.
Maybe both.
Both?
Maybe both.
That's what happens when he looks at Jin for sure.
Purple is shock, dread, panic, fear, but also imaginativeness and wisdom. And then gold is despair, but also for emotional, becoming emotionally overwhelmed in general, positive or negative.
So it's like the Avatar state.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hwei is currently the champion with the largest number of abilities in League of Legends. He has 11, excluding his subject selection spells, and 15 if you include them.
What the fuck does
Oh,
that
like the
mean?
initial cast. Interesting. Well, it's three per, right? So it's 9, not counting the initial cast, then 10 from the ult. What's the 11th?
Probably his passive would be my...
Oh, okay. I guess they count that as an ability. Okay.
And Hwei's kit obeys the rule of thirds in multiple aspects. In multiple aspects, he has 3x3 basic abilities. His passive requires 2 damaging abilities in order to deal a 3rd damaging ability, and he studies 2 negative subjects and 1 positive subject. Which is a nice, also kind of counter to Jin's obsession with the 4.
Yeah, I kind of like it, honestly. It yeah, I don't know. I'm really liking this idea of him as like the, not like an apprentice to Jin, but like I said, sort of like the Jin's like one of Jin's big pieces of art almost, right? And he's sort of like
and his number one fan.
Yeah, right. Number 3 fan. I don't know, something like that. Right? Neat.
Finally, oh, sorry, go ahead.
I said
you
neat.
said neat.
Oh. When Hwei dies, his eyes, that reflect his current mood, fade into a colorless blankness, symbolizing the absence of any emotional presence in death.
They should turn into big cartoon X's.
Man, if only you were on the champion design team.
Yeah.
Someone pitches that. They should turn gray to show the absence of any emotional presence in death.
How about big X's on his eye?
Like
Make
Looney
his tongue
Tunes.
pop out of his mouth.
And that fly comes out.
A little ghost pops up holding a little like flower or something. They'll do that for his skin. They should have one of those heist skins where his eyes turns into big dollar signs or some shit. I don't know. What do y'all want
Wayner
Hwei's
Brothers?
eyes to be? Shut up.
I didn't even hear what you said. Wayner Brothers?
Yeah, don't worry about it.
Wiener Brothers.
It's a different studio, Mark.
Oh,
That we
like
can't
Warner
talk about. We're gonna get
Brothers.
demonetized. That's why.
Anyway. Oh, man.
This whole time I've been trying to think of a way to incorporate "Carry On My Wayward Son," but it didn't happen naturally.
I think that's a good way to do it, honestly. Yeah.
Thank you.
If you were gonna start an online shipping company, it would be Hwei Fair.
I wish I could come up with something else, but I think we'll just leave it at that, probably.
He's eating its curds in Hwei.
Are you going down your list? Just trying to bang them all out.
He's like, "Which one's it? I managed to slip in."
But we said this one, they said that one.
I really thought I was going to be able to fit curds and Hwei in organically, but it didn't. Nobody mentioned Miss Tuffet once.
Isn't it Muffet?
Probably.
Miss Muffet sat on her tongue.
She's sitting on her tuffet, yeah.
Yeah.
Miss Tuffet is what the villagers called her, because she's always sitting there.
Then call me Miss Couch.
They do, honey.
Right. The villagers.
I get up from the couch. I swear
There's
I
a
have a
beast.
toddler.
There's a beast that haunts that
Right.
that house. Like,
There stays the lady. She's on the couch like always.
I know I've gained a little weight, but you guys really don't have to. So mean. Kill the beast.
you're serving on the couch. Fuck off. Got like a broom that you're just
I
like
got a
poking
giant
at.
Toblerone that John gave me for Christmas. Alrighty, well that was Hwei. Any final
Yep.
thoughts or puns?
He's been weighed and measured.
Nice.
We'll say
nice,
that.
Nice.
You good?
Yeah.
Are you gonna interrupt me when I'm doing?
There's
that?
only one way to find out.
Well, that was Hwei.
Well,
Gonna take the mic over here with me. Thank you for listening. We have a Twitter, it's @Loreheads, and a Twitch, twitch.tv/Loreheads. John streams on Saturdays, maybe Friday this week, because
probably.
we have a Christmas party on Saturday.
By the time you hear this.
Oh, yeah. Anyway, we'll figure it out. He does TFT and ARAMs with viewers. I normally stream Mondays, but all my stuff blew up, so maybe John will occasionally have extra streams, or I will stream from his office. We'll figure it out. We haven't done that yet, but, you know, we have a YouTube. If you want to see John's cool posters that he got for Christmas, get the fuck out of here. Get out of here.
She's beating him. She's
I
stabbing
took
him.
the mic. I pushed him away. Anyway, yeah, YouTube clips. Oh, by the time this is up, the parody song's going to be up, right? New Ergot song. It's phenomenal.
Spider Boy.
Spider Boy. I highly recommend it. It's really funny. John did a wonderful job. You're a beautiful man, honey. We have a Discord. If you want to chat with people, find them to play with League with. Join the Discord. And we have a Patreon. Thank you so much for all of our patrons.
Can I get close to the mic?
Yeah, I guess you could do this.
But a very special thank you to our Medarda tier patrons, King of Hearts, Big Man Gnomes, Mr. Dead, and John has a dig Bick. If you were looking for Jin and I had information, I would not let anything get in the way of you finding him.
Wow, beautiful.
Beautiful.
Nice stuff. Please be sure to join us next week, y'all. We're going on to the V's. It's time for the V's.
We're going to punch in our V card here.
We're going to talk about the Arrow of Retribution, Varys.
Great.